Hi, my name is Lain, and I've been a part of the Underground for about 6 months now, and I live in Pinellas County. Become part of a home church over there that I love, and I've been coming to Sunday morning worship, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about where I've come from. I became a Christian 28 years ago, and I was raised in a very, very liberal church, and got saved in a very, very conservative church, and have moved a few times in my life, and so I've been in basically four different conservative churches, and am crazy in love with Jesus, and have been ever since the day I got saved. And all of those churches had some very specific things in common, and some of those things were they had a very strong education program, always big Sunday school, big Bible study emphasis, and then they also all had a heart for mission overseas. But some of the things that they had in common that I didn't see that really bothered me were expressed local ministry and a care and concern for the poor, which I did see that in my parents' church very much, but then not a growth and understanding about who Jesus was and living an obedient life. Then they also, there also was in these churches that I spent most of my Christian life in, a very felt condemnation of the liberal church, and I was a part of that. But as I grew to love Jesus more and got older, that really bothered me a great deal. And then also, I especially noticed maybe over the last 7 or 8 years, a real mass exodus of young adults from our church, and it seemed to just be an older crowd. And my kids, who are young adults, had lots of things about the church that they just really struggled with. So about 6 months ago, someone told me about the Underground. I came by myself, and the first Sunday I was here, I was completely blown away by every part of the experience. I was blown away by the amount of young adults that were here, by the worship, and especially by the method of preaching and teaching, where we just studied a segment of Scripture and talked about it together, and then kind of had this whole group conversation about what we saw in the Scripture, and we learned from one another. And then Brian shared with us what the Lord gave him to share with the church, and I just have never experienced growing and understanding Scripture in that way before, and it was just fascinating. And the emphasis that they have on loving the poor and serving the poor, and this amazing concept that we actually are supposed to talk about Jesus with the people around us and help people come to relationship with Jesus and love and understand them. I remember in many of the other churches that I went to that most often there was a rose on the altar if somebody came to Jesus, and maybe once a year that was actually a conversion, and once a year it was a new baby baptism. And here I'm seeing people coming to Jesus a lot. I'm experiencing personally loving poor people, being involved in their lives, learning to give parts of myself away. I've had experiences since I've been here that have just really challenged me. I have been examining where I'm living my life in greed and excess, and where God might want me to change and modify the way that I'm doing things, and the use of my time. And basically, I'm challenged on every level at the Underground to do something that's authentic and to live a life that's relevant in my faith to the people around me. And I love it, and I'm so committed to it. And I would love to invite any person who might ever see this to come and visit us on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock at Hillsborough Community College, Ybor campus, in the theater, or to my home church on Sunday night. Y'all are just welcome to join me. I love it, and it's a great growing experience in Jesus. Thanks.